Good morning, or good afternoon. Found a game into a Rhinar who's taking their sweet time starting. We're 40 seconds in and they've not clicked a button yet, but I'm hopeful this is going to fire because I think Rhinar is an interesting matchup. It was a long time to choose a meat axe. It's an auspicious start though, isn't it? Of course it hits the fiddlers, the one thing I truly wanted to block with. This is fine though, we can take a block damage or something. We don't need fire breathings early. Maybe should have put the extra block in, I don't know. I would love to have put the fiddlers in, obviously, as the last block. The difficulty basically is whether or not using up a card for 1 point of block is worth it if I can drag this out. Dragging it out into Rhinar is difficult, so may not have been the correct play, if we're being honest. We've got a Might token here, so we've got a Command and Conquer throw. May as well go for it. Because we have a Liar's Charm, we can sneak something in here, I think. Nice little interaction that people don't basically realise when you can blank your own ability and your cards get big. That's why Liar's Charm's just really good, but it can do some very sneaky offence. Because he's going to cover this to obviously save his arsenal, and using a card to take his arsenal is, a card for a card, which is good. It's also some free damage, so, generally speaking, just very happy. I'm also hoping that he's basically using up equipment to cover this. Yeah, he is, so this is good, basically. There we go, sneaky big Command and Conquer. Get some damage in, took a card from his hand, didn't take much in the way of equipment. He's obviously just covered it with a battle one, but the point being it's kind of, it is using up some of this block that he's got on the board, and that's kind of a big deal, I think. I pitched the fiddlers, by the way, because I just didn't want it sort of sat in my hand, potentially getting intimidated over and over, but also because if I dip below him on life, these Oasis Respites give me one more value. If I just stay really high, which I won't because he's Rhinar, but if I do, I just sort of don't get anywhere. So it's not really a great value card. I was happy to see it turn 1 if I got to block with it, but I don't want it sitting around for multiple turns being red in my hand. It's the most tenuous card in the deck. I almost boarded it out for Rhinar just because he's a pain with it. I don't really care what he intimidates here. Because obviously you could use response windows and Oasis and stuff, but I just don't need to. He's coming in for 6, and we don't want to be using this round on May as an actual action in this game, so we're going to feed him cards more like that. So while this is on the stack, you need to do the Lyath trigger, just as an important comment. Because you need... I actually had a Might token anyway, but just good practice to make sure you always do it. Keeps your Might token in play. We're going to block with Rampart here because I'm not too bothered about the little hit. some people play this deck complete fatigue where they just block. This is valid. I much prefer to, we'll call it mid-range it. It's not really mid-range if you know what I mean, but I maybe could have actually blocked because I had the Ripple Away coming back as well as a thought, but I kind of wanted the extra point of damage. But I should really have given up a point of damage and maybe blocked out slightly more. Your thinking lines for Rhinar are different than for other heroes. That's kind of a big part of trying to math it through and such. You know, I don't mind taking a tiny bit of chip anyway. Like I'm threatening hammers. I am hoping he's going to be forced into kind of like a mid-range play into me, because that'll be better for me. Because he will chip down better than I chip down if we get onto that gameplay. What he wants is huge turns. It looks like he's happy to take the big damage. I say big, 5's not that big, but yeah, it's big for Lyath. He's a small man. But we get the Oasis into Arsenal now, which is good. Helps us cover some stuff. Okay, and to cover 8, how do we cover 8? This is a difficult conundrum. We want to cover it. I mean, I could just cover 7 and not have the Quicken. Like, I don't need the Quicken. But it comes into the question of what do I want. Let's say if I gave him like 6 there, that would be 7. Use up 1 card, leave me with 2 cards. That would be fine. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. That seems fine. Yeah, I mean, we just hit him. I think I'm going to feed this Oasis through here as well, just to keep a few of these. These are basically my D-reacts. Keeping one for later is fine. I have Oasis in my arsenal, so I'm not too bothered about overpitching for one and, you know, wasting it, as it were. You know, I'm getting IP'd by his sort of mid-ranging strategies here, and that's fine. I'm kind of just looking for things to do. This power play is nice, but I need him to use up some equipment. This is a very bad turn for him to be having a very big turn, but we'll just suck it up. This will almost certainly pull the tempo over to him, I think. I say that, he's going to probably intimidate again, so, you know, I'm going to have a turn of my own. The question is, do I Liar's Charm? Because if he intimidates that, it's a pain. The alternative is... This is a good alternative. We're going to use the Liar's Charm to Lyath in response. And then he'll hit something. So I now know what my next turn looks like. And we've got this power play and a sigil to play with. And that's fine. Do I give him the rampart? I don't think I do, because I'm going to play the Oasis soon. I can see what his next attacks are, basically. That's going to be sad. That's a 50-50 of my turn getting bricked. It's too big to stop, basically. I could maybe put the two-facing on his first attack incidentally and kind of blocked it out. But again, I'm not too worried at the moment. This is kind of it for the turn, isn't it? I'm trying not to use this Oasis up if I don't need to, basically, and especially because he's now put me in the life totals where this now does more. You know, I'm kind of wanting to get my value. I've still got a good turn here. We've got the hammer. We're actually going to go back ahead of him on life quite comfortably. But, you know, I want him to go down in health as fast as I do, really, because, you know, I can't just hard fatigue a Rhinar. It doesn't work. You know, he's got 44 cards. They're majoritively sixes, and he's got Intimidate. He will be able to just assemble beatdowns and do turns where he just forces, you know, really throw their 16-ish. That's not even the biggest turn he could have pulled. Really wanting to, say, bait out some of this gear. I just want these tempers down to 1 maybe. I'd love the hat gone. You know, it'll eventually happen on its own, but it's kind of important to me that it happens at some point. And I have some cards that'll help force it at some point. You know, if I start doing a big turn, I think he might panic block some of this in, but you know, his best play is to hold this for like the entire damn game, basically, so that I can't, you know, I can't sneak in some of my better stuff like Terra Sunder. Because a sneaky Terra Sunder would, you know, really make a lot of momentum in this game. Just slot that in there. So this is fairly nice. We're probably going to play the Oasis on this turn as a guess. Because, again, it depends what he does. If it's just like one swing, we might not, but it feels likely. Okay, we might not need to. I'm going to give him this fissure. We might give him it just because we have the one spare and it's easier. This is easy to play, basically. So we might be giving him this here and cycling this into the zone. This remembrance is not doing much as well. For another comment. What we got? We've got the big swings. Yeah. I'm hoping these will protect the drag down, which I'll probably use here. Good news. Right, remembrance, are you just going to be used to pay for some stuff? Yeah, you are. So we're going to give him the iron hide here. Just cover what we can. We'll probably use the drag down because there's no reason to really hold it. He's not big on hit effects, and when he does use them, there's not much we can really do with them. You know, I'm happy to just eat what I can when I can. You know, he'll have a chill turn at some point, I think, by the way he's playing this, and when he does, we'll get something back into Arsenal. But, you know, having your Arsenal free is nice as Lyath, because there are, you know, cards you kind of want to set up a little bit. As mentioned, you know, I'm just constantly hitting him with this hammer, and, you know, I can have as big a turn as he can if I can get my hand together. Question is, can I get my hand together? See, there's a rouse. If I can keep that and get it into my arsenal, I'll be quite happy, because that's how I'm going to open up a big turn. I actually have a big turn with it right now. Depending what he does, I might just take what he throws and come back at him, because this is going to be the big stuff. But we have to keep everything, basically, because we can't use the withstand, but that can go in the arsenal, and then we can use the other stuff in my turn, no problem. But what I'd like to do is make him uncomfortable. Again, depending what he does, you know, I've got a two-face to try and shut down a turn at some point. I'm just looking for a good opportunity. Obviously this scan sketch plan's going to do various things. Very likely to intimidate me as well, so this is where, you know, my blocking gets weird anyway. You know, I could withstand in response if I wanted to. So obviously don't know what he's got. It's probably... I was going to say it's probably a bellows, but I'm not sure it is. I feel like sketching up a bellows when he has no arsenal is not a very exciting turn for him. Though he may have got the bellows to put in arsenal, that would be a good play. It's very hard to know what he's got. You know, he might have just fetched a random 6. I'm going to take a punt with this two-faced here. Interesting. So I'm not 100% sure what he fetched there. Don't really care, is the other comment. I'm about to try and go for a lot of pressure. So he's got his meat axe or another swing. Yeah, I'm probably going to go slightly below 1 life. That means the heart's going to work. Yeah, this is a good turn to trade with him a bit. I did want more from the hat than I got, but you know, it's fine. Gets a good meat axe. You know, meat axe is a big boy. And it's again a reason that fatiguing him is very difficult. But I think this is the most important sort of matchups to actually play a lot of as a fatigue player, because these are the games where I can't fatigue him. You know, people who play a lot of try again. People who don't play enough fatigue and don't get to grips with it struggle with the fact that they are not getting to do the fatigue plan. You know, they just haven't learned things. You know, I'm coming back at him for 11, which is pretty substantial, given, you know, he swung at me for... Did he do 12 total? Like, you know, it's good clapback. I'm going to end up ahead of him if he doesn't do stuff. I've got this withstand held as well, which, you know, again, it's just, it all comes together. It's all fine. It's not the biggest... the Titan didn't get an extra plus one, did it? So it's only 10. But, you know, I'm coming back for 10. This is going to put me in a good life total position compared to him. Finishing him is more difficult because he can go into a very good block cycle. But again, I want him in that block cycle. I want to be sending a Titans for 4 and him having to cover it with 2 cards. That's how I will be able to rack up an advantage and kind of close this. And what he wants is enough breathing room to, you know, be able to just send Lethal at me. And I'm down to 14. You know, I'm in a slightly precarious position. Certainly not the worst, and having things like withstand sat in Arsenal will really help. There we go. So we're taking cards off him now, which is good. Just means he's playing less at me. We use the spare card for Lyath basically, so the next turn set up a bit as well. Okay, so we have withstand this turn, withstand next turn. That's good. We have steadfast. The nice thing here is we can pre-play this stuff into intimidate, and there's nothing he can do about it. If he's planning on just one swing, we're golden. Not sure what he's planning there. He's got the go again as well. This is fine. We're going to set up like this. So we block nothing and just take 2. And then we've got a withstand effect, so we could block 7 into the next thing he tries. You know, he might just end turn here, I don't know. But that's fine, you know. I don't care if I just have to end turn. But I assume it's me tax. You know, coming with big meat attacks is Rhinar's new bread and butter. It's nice to see him doing well finally. Yeah, it's only taken him like 4 years. But obviously this is completely played around the intimidate, which is important for me. So we can block with this. Just getting this in now for ordering, just so I don't have to think about it in a second. We're getting an extra might token basically so that this hammer bonk that we're coming back with is going to be good. As I say, we're just trying to pressure him into the point where he has to block out, and he's got a lot of equipment left, so you know the pressure is not on. The pressure is certainly more on me with my current hit point total, but you know, you live with what you've got. But, you know, card in Arsenal's super important for being able to get, you know, preemptive blocking out. You've sort of seen from that last turn, I got 12 damage prevention in before the first Intimidate. And then he gets to Intimidate whatever he wants, because, you know, I only had my card for hitting him with a hammer for my turn. You can mitigate his ability a lot. You know, the worry basically is what my life total looks like, whether or not I'm going to get away with, you know, this strat, or if he's going to get a good big turn in. You know, he's functionally winning because he's got like 8 armor still. That's you know, that is a hit point lead. You know, it looks good where I am, but I don't have the momentum and I don't have the forward pressure. It's going to be a tough one. I think Rhinar is one of the worst things for Lyath to say. You know, generally true for a lot of fatigue. Rhinar just likes it. So this is what we want to say. This is, you know, so there's a lot of armour gone now. Okay, this could be very, very good. Depends on obviously what the Intimidates hit, but we're going to hope he does not intimidate the Fiddler's Greens, because that will ruin my life. And we just have to let this hit, because we can't preemptively Oasis or anything. We don't know what's coming. If he hits Oasis, it's not too bad. We can still withstand. You know, I don't care what he hits on the first Intimidate, apart from this Fiddler's. Having a 5-card hand also is nice. This doesn't feel like he's doing a big turn. That's the other thing I'd say. Like he's... it's going to be one big hit. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. Yeah, so hit the Oasis. That's not at all the end of the world. I'd argue that's actually the best thing for him to hit, because it means I can put this into Arsenal to keep it safe after the stand. Yeah, that makes sense. So he's going to kill that if this hits. I don't know if I can stop it. We'll find out. So you have to play the withstand beforehand. It's kind of an important part of this. Give it that. And then this comes in for 12. So we've got 6. I think we're only getting to 11 here. We could put the slippers in and protect this, I think, and that's not the worst plan. We'll have a look here, because we're definitely paying that one in there. Yeah, I think we're just doing that. Obviously gives him another turn to do stuff. So we're protecting the respite there, basically. The legs will only ever really prevent 1, maybe 2 into him, but unlikely to get 2 even because of the Intimidates. So, you know, he's in a good position in that he now gets to full swing on his turn. But, you know, I survived, and that's a whole deal in itself. You know, there's 28 cards to go and 15 life to go. I did gain life that turn as well. That's probably another important factor. So I am now technically ahead of him. Technically, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, like 15 to 14. 16 to 14 because I got a tunic. It's, you know, it's minor and he is much more aggressive. So, you know, I'm not pinning all my hopes and dreams to that advantage, but I'm in a good place. I'm in nearly as a good place as I think I could be given the matchup. And again, that's kind of what's important to understand. This is not a great matchup. This is you know, this is Rhinar's to play for. So it's coming in for 8. We've got the drag downs and we're absolutely going to use those. We've got the rampart, we're absolutely going to use that. If there's no shenanigans off this, I'm very, very happy. Okay. Not the biggest fan of him doing that since he's seen my blocks, but we'll live with it. It's Talishar. This is not a serious thing, but you know, some people on that one would be like, well, you have just gained information in that I one card blocked it and you think I'm doing something else and now you're swapping what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like there's a bit of that, but it's fine. When I inevitably lose, I'm going to blame it on that decision. No, yeah, if I lose, it's been a fine, you know, it's been a fine game. That's annoying. I should have pre-pitched that. I can still do stuff with this though. I can still play this out. Okay, so it's just the romp. In which case I don't need to Lyath. Yeah, we can work with this. Just have all your drag downs. We're playing for the hammer doing the most it can, basically, and the gravekeeping is going to get pitched to the Lyath ability. You know, to get pressure again next turn. My life total is creeping up because he's not doing big turns, and this is kind of, you know, what I want more than anything. You know, this tunic's back up, which again is good. It means with this Oasis is, you know, free to land when I need to land it. You know, there's no risk of always going to intimidate my blues, and I'm not going to be able to get this out. Tunic's big, so we took a card off him, that's good. Do Lyath, get the sigil in. Just getting this all in now once his block's in, because it just short keeps later in the turn. I have to end turn less, which matters to me. Oh, this hand is poor, but this hand is okay. I want to keep the Bastion if I can, because this is my offensive card. So, you know, my ideal here is like, I'm probably going to Lyath and use the Oasis Respite up in response to like a first Intimidate. Just hope he misses the Fiddlers. You know, there'll be 4 cards in hand, so it's only a 1 in 4 he hits it. My ideal would be that he hits the Bastion, obviously, as usual. But, you know, we know what we want. We don't know what we'll get. He's not got the biggest hand. I'm now actually comfortably ahead on life. So I only have to worry about Blood Rush Bellow turns, which, you know, I don't think is this turn because he blocked. You know, he's now trying to preserve his life total. So there's no Intimidate, let's just go again. That's fine. 3, 6, 7. Just take the 1, I think. There's probably a relatively big hit coming in here again, but I've got 2 mites up. I've got a prevent 4, which this is probably the time we do it right. It's a good time to prevent 5 for sure. So he gets the Intimidate. I'm fine with that. This is what I mean about, you know, having the tunic and the oasis together. It's just really, really nice because it's. Why is that grey? I'm getting nervous when things are greyed out because I'm like, can I not prevent this? I think I can prevent this. I hope I can prevent this. Most certainly could. Oh, he's coming in big. Good turn from him, and he again chipping my life back down, but hopefully this Titan's Fist coming back at him will do work. Hopefully. So we got a lot in. I come back at him for 5. As I say, I think he's still in a very good position because he's Rhinar, but you know, the Titan's Fist asks him questions. The big thing here, though, is that he can just block as he sees fit, and you know, just take this 4 or 5 at some point when he wants to open up with a big turn, and then I struggle. You know, I need to find an opening here somewhere. I need to find something big that I can do. Because, you know, these Titan's Fists are good. You know, slapping him for 5 every few turns is perfectly good. You know, he's running low on deck as well, but I just still don't think that's a factor for him. I think he's just got a lot. I'm not going to have a good turn of swinging at him either, so this is a blocking turn if ever I saw one. We're going to get this withstanding anyway. Oh, do I do that or do I not do that? Let's wait. I don't think it matters. In case anyone's wondering, the Midas touches are in here because we just fat deck, and they block, and they're yellow. You know, they're fine, and then they make Gravy Bones more manageable, and I'd say they make Prism more manageable. They technically do. You're going to lose to Prism. You can't break any of her illusions. You know, she just gets to swing 7s at you constantly with incredible card advantage and stuff. She's a pretty horrible game. Hello there, swing big. So the temptation is to not block with this because this only blocks. I don't know, block 2 versus send an extra 1. I actually think blocking is the way. I can either send a hammer for 2, which does not sound like much, but is actually still a problem at this life total. Or I could make a might token. I don't think the might token's worth it. Gives me a more threatening next turn, but if he keeps up pressure... You know, little chips are still dangerous at this point because he's got 3 points of armour left. And then he's got his hand. As I say, I still think he's in quite a good position despite me being functionally ahead. Because I've got to find an opening, and I've got to find an opening before my life's too low to take it. Because, you know, I can go to 1 and sort of throw something huge, but I need the opportunity to be able to go to 1. If I dip too far, I'm stuck. And as I say, Tiny Hammer poses interesting questions, and I think it poses a better question than a might for next turn. Because as I say, when I swing for 4, he knows that he's going like gauntlets on the card from hand, right? When I've seen this, he's got to decide, is he just taking it? Is he going to, 3's a relatively scary number. Like, I can potentially set up a kill off 3 life. Dominate is a thing. Liar's Charm is a thing. I've got life gain, I've got Stever. This is good, I think. Cool is Intimidator Sigil, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, I'd like to keep this Liar's Charm because this might be how I kill him. So that's what I'm playing for now. Can I keep a Liar's Charm? Let's see if we can get a sneaky kill. This is fine. So again, we're going to claw our life up again a bit in my turn. Keeping a slightly big hand maybe makes him nervous. I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. See, again, this is now at the point where it poses him a question every turn because he has to give me something. That is fine. Again, he's got good damage coming. I'm just looking for a way to get this Liar's Charm through now. This is now my win con, I think. Just find something that can kill him as a surprise. C and C would be perfect. And that is a problem. Oh, yeah, He's hit the one card I would like to have kept in my hand for blocking with, because this is not great in my hand for playing. It's okay because Tunic can fix it into a little teeny tiny hammer swing, but it's not great. I should maybe have pitched it in response to make sure that it definitely went, but you know, that's not the world I'm living in. The Blood Rush Bellows really going to put a cramp on this as well. Because the question here is, can I survive what he's doing this turn? So we've got another Intimidate coming, that is fine. 'Cause I think we just take this and see where we're at. That informs my next decision a lot. Three, 4, 5. So I can keep 2. That's upsetting. That stops it being a kill. Yeah, okay, so we'll respond. Didn't even need to rampart. We've covered that quite well. As I say, it's denied me my big smashy face moment, but you know, we can live with it. Yeah, I definitely wish I'd pitched that at the start of the turn. It would have made this easier because I could have done more. Because it means I could have kept the kept one of the blues and arsenaled it and had a 6 damage card in arsenal. That'd have been good. As it stands, I'm going to pitch this away because I don't want it clogging in my hand, and I certainly don't want to arsenal it. You know, again, we've got an efficient hammer. I think it's going to take his flesh bag, I guess, plus a card from hand. But he might go 2 from hand and just swing something at me. That's also a possibility. He's starting to run out of deck, which means he's probably also starting to run out of threats to a degree. There's still a Blood Rush Bellow in there to be scared of. There we go. So he's basically out of armour now. You know, the 1 point on the gauntlets isn't that threatening. This is good. We can do stuff with this. That's less good. But I think we can work with this. There's nothing we can do to react to this well. So we just let him take something. That's the Oasis. We can live with it. Because we've got a steadfast play basically. We can throw the overcrowded, throw the steadfast down. Try and live. You know, we're now at the scary points as well in terms of resources left. Kind of hoping that his cards are not great. Yeah, so he's doing that. That's fine. We can see the assault and battery now, you see, so we can do that. I think I might be dead though, if I'm honest. This feels like a problem. Just putting everything we can into this. There's I don't think there's anything else coming though, is there? No. Yeah, we've got away with this and he's nearly out of deck. I think we may have actually managed to fatigue this off, which I'm surprised at. Because I've still got a 30 card deck, so I can take a meat axe to the face all day, basically. This is taking a card off him, basically. You know, he's got to lose a card every turn now. He can't even cover with the gauntlets, which is great. Yeah, this is the position we're in. So, you know, assuming these last couple of hands have nothing scary, and to be honest, I don't think they do, because we're through the blood rushes now. I think I'm hot to trot, as it were. This Oasis goes into the arsenal. That helps me cover things. Again, you know, because of Life's ability, I can respond to Intimidate by, you know, cribbing resources. It's super important at this point, which is why I pitched a little bit of this earlier. This isn't one of the ones I pitched, but, you know, the principle stands. There's a red one lurking in there somewhere. I think I used the other two, did I? Yeah. So I've still got a red one. I've still got another yellow one. But I think he's cooked. Yeah, I might be wrong. You know, there's an agility and a might there. There's a potential for another big turn. I've got 9 life. I've got a respite. You know, this is everything we wanted. A lot of Terror Sunder. I mean, he's dead if he can't get the offense. I say that, yeah. I just don't think I'm going to get aggressive with this. He's just not got enough deck left. The meat axe is going to cost him a card. Probably every attack is going to cost him a card. Like, he's on fumes. He's on fumes. I don't care what he intimidates this turn at all. You know, probably. Yeah. This is fine. Just going to do this anyway. Yep, that's absolutely golden. We'll give him that. What else you got for me? Yeah, good choice. I think we're good. You can have that. And you can have this. And I'll take one. Lovely. And then I'm going to ask you the same question I ask you every turn, which is what you're doing with a 4-point hammer. Nine cards left in his deck total. He'll eventually get to the point where all he can do is hit me with a meat axe of 3. And all I'll do is block it. I mean, he's on 2. I can close out any time I find an actual threat, assuming he's not being aggressive. So the second he has to slacken off, and that's got to be soon. You know, I don't think there's threats left in his deck. You know, this is what fatigue looks like, right? He's got a chance of killing me, but when he's down to the fumes of his deck, like, I don't know exactly what's left here, but you know, like, I'm guessing there's an Alpha Instinct left because he's not played one of those. You could guess there's a Bare Fangs, which, again, you know, it's just for 8 with no text. I don't care. I can cover it. His ability to intimidate me is just in the trash, is the other thing. I did just draw a hand that doesn't fucking block, so that could be interesting, but we have an Oasis in it. Okay, don't take the Oasis, please. Okay, good. We're fine. I think I might have just died if he'd done that. That'd have been really sad. That's what I mean, you know, it's never over, but yeah, so we're going to respond to that by hitting him with the Oasis because we're not taking chances. How do we want to pay for it? We're just going to pay for it with this, I think, aren't we? No, I'll pay for it like that. That's a better plan. I mean, he's cooked. He's got 5 cards and we now know what they are, basically. There's nothing coming. This Liar's Charm might kill him, by the way. Yeah, he's conceded. I was it was a good game. Yeah. I was sort of sad he didn't give me one more turn because I think he was going to have to tentatively block this hammer and I think Liar's Charm was going to kill him. And I have been denied my Liar's Charm and I am sad because Liar's Charm kills is the ultimate. It is the way to riz someone up, right? This has been an hour. I hope you have enjoyed it. Certainly, I think good. It's been a good example of how you can take Rhinar down. You've got to be careful. It's always close. You are always on the brink of dying. It's rough, but it's, you know, I don't know what's unwinnable for Lyath in the current meta. Loosely, Prism, and I don't think Victor's very good. I think Victor's a monster because he just makes a lot of gold and kills you. But, there's a lot of good matchups. Fatigue Lyath's good. It's a fatigue deck I like because it's, you know, as you've seen there, like my playstyle with it is to be mid-range aggressive, and I play it like that into a lot of people. Partly because it's more interesting for me, and partly because I actually think it's a method that does work and a lot of people overlook it. Hope you enjoyed that one. I will see you in the next one.